Page A1, January 29, 1934, Los Angeles Times. Lizard People's Catacomb City hunted. Engineer seeks shaft under Fort Moore Hill to find maze of tunnels and priceless treasures of legendary inhabitants. By Joan Boisquet. Busy Los Angeles, although realizing it in the hustle and bustle of modern existence, stand above a lost city of catacombs filled with incalculable treasure and imperishable records of a race of humans further advanced intellectually and scientifically than even the highest type of present-day peoples. In the belief of G. Warren Schofield, geophysical mining engineer now engaged in an attempt to wrest from the lost city deep in the earth below Fort Moore Hill the secrets of the lizard people of legendary fame and the medicine lodges of the American Indian. So firmly does Schofield and a little staff of assistants believe that a maze of catacombs and priceless golden tablets are to be found beneath downtown Los Angeles, that the engineer and his aides have already driven the shaft 250 feet into the ground, the mouth of the shaft being on the old Banning property on North Hill Street overlooking Sunset Boulevard, Spring Street, and North Broadway. And so convinced is the engineer of the infallibility of a radio X-ray perfected by him for detecting the presence of minerals and tunnels below the surface of the ground, an apparatus with which he says he has traced the pattern of catacombs and vaults forming the lost city, that he plans to continue sending his shaft downward until he has reached a depth of 1,000 feet before discontinuing operations. Legend supplies clue. Schofield learned of the legend of the lizard people after his radio X-ray had led him hither and yon over an area extending from the public library on West 5th Street to the Southwest Museum on Museum Drive at the foot of Mount Washington. I knew I was over a pattern of tunnels, the engineer explained yesterday, and I had mapped out the course of the tunnels and position of large rooms scattered along the tunnel route, as well as the position of deposits of gold, but I couldn't understand the meaning of it. Then Schofield was taken to Little Chief Greenleaf of the Medicine Lodge of the Hopi Indians in Arizona, whose English name is L. Macklin. The Indian provided the engineer with a legend which, according to both men, dovetails exactly what Schofield says he has found. Fire destroys all. According to the legend as imparted to Schofield by Macklin, the radio X-ray has revealed the location of one of the 3 cities lost on the Pacific coast, the local one having been dug by the lizard people after the great catastrophe which occurred about 5,000 years ago. This legendary catastrophe was in the form of a huge tongue of fire which came out of the southwest, destroying all life in its path. The path being several hundred miles wide, the city underground was dug as a means of escaping future fires. The lost city, dug with powerful chemicals by the lizard people instead of pick and shovel, was drained into the ocean where its tunnels began, according to the legend. The tide passing daily in and out of the lower tunnel portals and forcing air into the upper tunnels provided ventilation and cleansed and sanitized the lower tunnels, the legend states. The large rooms and the domes of the hills above the city of Labor Reef housed 1,000 families in a manner of tall buildings, and imperishable food supplies of herb variety were stored in the catacombs to provide sustenance for the lizard folk for great lengths of time as the next fire swept over the earth. City laid out like lizard. The lizard people, the legend has it, regarded the lizard as the symbol of long life. Their city is laid out like a lizard, according to the legend, its tail to the southwest far below 5th and Hope Street, its head to the northeast at Lookout and Martyr Streets. The city's key room is situated directly under South Broadway near 2nd Street, according to Schofield and the legend. This key room is a directory to all parts of the city and to all record tablets, the legend states. All records were kept on gold tablets 4 feet long and 14 inches wide. On these tablets of gold, gold having been the symbol of life to the legendary lizard people, will be found the recorded history of the Mayans, and on one particular tablet, the southwest corner of which will be missing, is to be found the record of the origin of the human race. Tablets photographed. Schofield stated he has taken X-ray pictures of 37 such tablets, 3 of which have their southwest corner cut off. My radio X-ray pictures of tunnels and rooms which are subsurface voids and of gold pictures with perfect corners, sides, and ends are scientific proof of their existence, Schofield said. However, the legendary story must remain speculative until unearthed by excavation. The lizard people, according to Macklin, were of a much higher type intellectually than modern human beings. The intellectual accomplishments of their 9-year-old children were the equal of those of present-day college graduates, he said. So greatly advanced scientifically were these people that, in addition to perfecting a chemical solution by which they bored underground without removing earth and rock, they also developed a cement far stronger and better than any in use in modern times, with which they lined their tunnels and rooms. Hill's enclosed city. Macklin said legendary advice to American Indians was to seek the lost city in an area within a chain of hills forming the frog of a horse's hoof. The contour of hills surrounding this region formed such a design substantiating Schofield's findings, he said. Schofield's radio device consists chiefly of a cylindrical glass case inside which a plummet attached to a copper wire held by an engineer sways continually, pointing, he asserts, towards minerals and tunnels below the surface of the ground, and then revolves when over the mineral or swings in prolongation of the tunnel when above the excavation. He has used this instrument extensively in mining fields, he said.